imagine you are the smartest intern in the world. They have read every book, every blog, every line of code. They are brilliant. But on day one, they can't actually do anything. They can't check the today's weather. They can't send an email. They can't book a meeting. They can't access your databases. Brilliant brain, but no hands. And that's exactly how an LLM starts. Today, we are going to give it hands. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Nitin. In this series, we are learning AI agents from scratch. First, understand the concept and write code. In the last episode, we learned why the Responses API is the modern OpenAI API. Today, we are unlocking the feature that makes agents possible, function calling. So let's start. So, how do you make intern useful? Simple. You give them a list of things uh, that you ask for, and you give them this, they are allowed. They are allowed. Uh, when they need something, they don't guess. They ask, and you give them the result. Then they finish the work. That's it. That's literally function calling. That map the story of real AI term. Let's map it. Let's map this intern analogy with the real agent. So the intern is the model, and the list of allowed actions is the tools. Something like please run this for me is a function call, and your result is like your function call output, and their final answer will be response.output text. That's the final output of your function, and that's how it's work. Every AI agent you have heard about it built on this exact sort of a loop. Now let's understand why we need these tools. Uh, let's first understand the problem. uh, if I ask something, my model, like some question that needs some very updated information, let's see how they behave. So same, I import these libraries as OpenAI and keys that we needed, and I ask, I lets me created the list of questions that need a very sort of a current knowledge. So first, what's what's the weather in Delhi right now? That is my first question. And let's ask the question will be what is 2448 multiplied by let's say 2917. So if we do this, how we ask these two questions from our model, and let's use this question. So let's have four. Let's ask this question for Q in questions. Let's create. Let's better to just run the loop and bring my question, and then how we create the response API. So we'll call it response equal to client dot responses dot create, and then we pass our two things. First, our model that we are using is GPT-5 mini, and my input is a question. So let's pass two things, and let's get print what is the output it says. So print response.output text. Response.output text. Let's run it. So this is the first question. What is the uh, what is the weather in Delhi right now, and what it does print? So it's running in the backend, checking, and okay, it says I can't fetch real-time data from here. Do you mean Delhi, India? Option one, I can help you. I can give a quick typical season estimate and quick line. So they say, okay. you can check immediately, go to the Google browser and all these things. So it doesn't. And for the second question, which would you like to me do this? Question is multiply by this. They did multiplication. So if maybe the model is either right or maybe it may guess. So it says I can't access. Maybe it can roam. That's a model are not connected to the real world. That's a sort of a we saw in the yesterday's also and today also. They are not connected to the real world. So instead of asking model to know, we give it a tool that knows the things. So how we are going to give the model the tool? So first is sort of a we create a loop in Python. Describe what a model is allowed to ask. Like we create a tool. What is the type? What is the type? Type is a function. Name is a get weather. And let's say model can use this tool. You know how we pass the tool. So if a model can uh, get an answer what is weather, and they will call this function at a get weather. For the calculation, they will use the function calculator, and for something who wrote Hamlet, they can do this thing by their internal knowledge. They don't need any tool. So now let's write the functions, write the code to understand how we are going to use the tool. Let's give something a tool. I have created this because we will use the later actual data. So this is the get tool. We will pass some city. This is sort of a very fake data. So if we get the city, it will give the condition Delhi temperature 34, condition hazy, and we crafted this data, but we will integrate the real API later. Just to show the example, we have this function, and how we define the tool. So we define the tool in this format. This is very basic. The tool is first we define the type. There is a function. What is the name? Get weather. What is the description? Get current weather of the city. And these are the parameters. So type is object, and what is the properties? There is a city, that is a string type, and description, city name, value or location, something. And required is what is required is the city to get this one. Now, how I'm going to use pass this tool? So first, I need to first convert the create this conversation. This role is the user, content is what is the weather in Delhi right now. And now, if I use the same my response API that I'm using, and as we know how to pass the tools, if we pass this tool and run it and print my response dot output text. So let's see how it will do. So it's what we pass. Okay, let's run it right now. Again, we pass the conversation. It's not returning anything. So let's say why. Let's go into more detailing which function it's calling. So we try to find out all the tool called in this function, and first so it called this response function tool cities Delhi. This is the ID get weather. It called status completed, but it didn't result anything. So let's investigate. Can we ask the weather? It's not replying. Let's check it again. Uh, First, let's create this condition if there is a tool. Let's print it something model dot response. If not, there is no tool. Uh, Else, do this condition. So for call in my tool calls, what I'm doing, and something first I'll print it the tool. What is the tool? It's called. So print. Uh, it will, let's say two number. One is call dot name, and second variable will be my, let's say, okay, let's print for example, call dot name, print call dot argument. So what it the function it call dot arguments. Argument, yeah. What it is calling and what are the argument I'm passing. And if uh so now I got what is calling. Now first get these arguments into the JSON load. So we have to import the JSON. First here, let's freeze, import JSON here, import JSON. And now JSON dot loads. JSON dot loads, and I'm loading this call argument. Call dot. Let's load this thing into JSON. And what we can do, so just do the quickly. If let's print it. If the call name is get weather, we will get results and then argument. Else we will print unknown function. Very simple one, and we will append this as a conversation because we know the how we are doing this conversation. So conversation dot append the call, and this is a type function call ID and the output result. So let's do this before this because we are not calling any API, so we need to call the API. So print calling the things. That's how. So let's call this API and do this thing. Unexpected identity. Okay. So it printed and okay, it says some bad request because we will see this how to handle. So in first instance, it get, and when we are sending this model to finish the output, it gave an error. So let's maybe instead of writing, let's use my existing code, get it not working. Something. So it's saying sending the when it's using the output back to the model, it's giving me the error because maybe some JSON loads or something is getting failed. So JSON don't terms. Yeah, so we are using this term, but still it's failing slightly. We will see this also because this is the other this is the sort of a, you can say, next task in next thing, how we can get a structured output. But let's see, can we define more sort of a call, get more function and identify how this is defining. So we know this is the one dummy function we define, get weather. This is the data, and define other functions, let's say calculator, because we are asking the same question. So we define the same other mathematical calculation. Now we need to describe the tools. So this is same way, but we have now multiple tools. So same function, like type is a function, name, description, and again type is a function, name is a calculator, what it do, and object, and what is the required is expression. So it need expression, mathematical expression. And now we first create a map to map all this function to actual Python callable thing. So there's a map prepared. Now I have created this API, how we can call this function. So for ask, we have this conversation that the question will come. It will go to the responses, and then again do the same thing that we are doing, responses and dot final output. So same part that we are doing on the top, but with the more tools. I have the two tools. Now I have, let's say, more different questions. So I have the three questions. What is the weather in Delhi? Multiplied. What the Hamlet? So I have these questions. Now fire this question to my LLM. I will ask it. So each question I will iterate it, and then I will call to this function ask. Ask will take one question, create a conversation, pass to the response, and then it will check, okay, the function call is there, print it, run every tool the model asks for, and send back the result. So it's calling. So what we are doing, we are checking, okay, function, what function need, which function needs, what function it's looking for. So they will check, and will run this function, get the output and pass to back to the model. So that's how we are doing in this one. Now run this function and see. So I got my first question, what is the weather in Delhi? Get weather in Delhi. And when I'm passing this thing, so I'm getting this bad request error that will questions. So there was this, I was passing the conversation, but instead of this, I will pass the question, and how we are appending this conversation back to our this previous conversation. So that's the previous conversation ID. We will pass it. So to preserve sort of this conversation flow. So how we are doing it? So we first, as we are doing this, checking the call tool ID, and if no tool, response the tool. If we have tool, get and call. What is thing? Load the argument, or get the function, and what is the result of this one, and then print what is the argument and what is the result, and then tool output will be the append as a tool function call. What is the ID? What is the output? And continue the conversation using this previous ID. So will use this like previous response ID equal to my response ID. That's how this tool output and tools. So input will my tool output. That's I'm passing and the tools. So if I run this one and I have these three questions, and if I ask the same question now, how it will behave. So first question, what is the weather in Delhi? So it use the tool get weather and city Delhi, that is the argument, and then this is the output, temperature 34 AG. So and now LLM responded to current weather in Delhi is 34 degree AG. That is the second question. What is the 8473 multiplied by 2917? So now it called the different tool, calculate, and this is the expression, is like expression 8473 by multiplied by this number, and this is the output it got. And my LLM responded in numbers multiplied by this is the output. But this is the interesting part for the third one. Who wrote the play Hamlet? It doesn't call any LLM or tool. It LLM has the knowledge. It directly say, okay, it's written by the William Shakespeare. So that's pretty interesting because whenever it's needed a tool, it's calling it. Otherwise, it's not calling. We define some tool. So function calling is the moment an LLM stops being a chatbot and start becoming a software system. So it interact with the outer things outer and ask take AI now and sort of a ask the tool or function that they take the action. So now technically AI can take an action. That's the sort of a difference. Initially, it was just sort of a conversation, ask question, reply. But now, because of this tool integration, now tool can do a lot of actions. And now, because tool can do action, now LLM can ask perform some actions by the tool, and tool can do the action. So technically, LLM can perform action. My AI can do the actions now. So what did we gain from the today's episode? So first, now your AI can now do the things, not just the top. Second, you understand the core loop behind any agent. And third, you are now ready for the MC, multi-agent system, and real-world AI application because underneath all of them, it's the same loop. Ask, run, return, and finish. In the next episode, we will make the model return structure JSON as our code can actually use it and output reliably. And yeah, happy learning. See you in the next episode. And then, yeah, just when you are watching these videos, keep writing the code together with me so you will learn in better format. So, yeah, see you in the next episode.